Location, location, location. We've heard that before, and it's always said with real estate. Why? Well, it's the one thing you can't change. No matter what building is on that land, it can be torn down and something eventually could be built anew. Even regulations can change, allowing for different types of buildings to be put down, but that land is not moving, besides a little bit of dirt. So it might be important to know where you're gonna buy first. Let's imagine you buy a property 2 hours out of the big city near a mining town. You find a great deal, all the numbers make sense, you get a nice tenant in there, sweetest family ever, and you think, awesome, I have started my journey. Well, fast forward 2.5 years and the mine closes down. Well, the mine was 80% of the employment in the area. The husband who worked for that mine is now unemployed. They can't make rent. You have to evict them. You can't find a new tenant because no one else has a job. The population had actually been declining over the last few years, but you didn't know. Now all of a sudden, your house value plummets because nobody wants to live there. You can't rent it out, and you end up having to sell it for pennies on the dollar. This might not happen to you, but it does happen to some people. And to help avoid that, I'm gonna share with you 3 things that you should always check before you decide where you're going to invest. I'm also going to share with you some of the criteria that we personally use in our business to help us decide where we buy. If you like these type of videos, click like and subscribe. Let's get into it. Finding out where you're going to invest is like a funnel. You can invest anywhere in the world, but we want to get to the bottom to where those deals that you're going to buy are exactly where you want them to be and are going to help you avoid the pitfalls that you do not want to deal with. For this video, let's go ahead and assume we've narrowed down where to the United States. That was our first filter. Now we don't know what state we want to buy in. The first thing you should look at is population growth. Where are people moving to? In order to find this data, you can go on and Google net domestic migration because they have done surveys and they got official numbers that tell you how many people have left versus how many people have moved in. And what you will find is there's lots of places that have consistently, day after day, month after month, year after year, have grown in population and others that are decreasing. Florida, Texas, and Arizona have been the top for population growth, while California and New York have been at the bottom. So you can see that might make a big difference for you when it comes to the value of your house and whether you can rent it out. Because if you're gonna rent out a property, would you like to only have one possible tenant that maybe got sick, moved away, and now you have nobody? Or do you want 10, 20, 30 people fighting over your property? When you sell it, do you wanna just sell it for less? Or do you want people to fight over it and sell it for more? And not have to sit on the market for 6 months to a year. A lot of that has to do with demand, which is directly related to population. If the people aren't living there, they can't fight over it. Population matters. So that's the first thing I want to make sure that you and every other investor looks at before they decide where they're going to invest. The second thing is job growth. Now this can correlate with population growth because when a new job has been brought to the market, sometimes they fill that position out of state. But they also pull people from in-state or in their company and give them raises. But you're also going to get a lot more stability because people will stay there and can afford more. Your rent will go up, the price of your house will go up. Another important factor to remember with this is, like in our initial example, how diverse is the job market. You don't want to be relying on just one industry because if something were to change, everything changes. Now that leads me to the third thing, and that's going to be how investor friendly is the state. Yes, you can buy property in all 50 states, but your experience after owning it can vary quite dramatically. First, in taxes, there's a big difference, and so when you eventually sell that property, make sure you know what the tax rate's gonna be, and for states that like taxes, it might even be higher by the time that you sell. The other part is the landlord-tenant laws. What if you buy a property, you're getting close to retirement, you have 5 years left, you buy the perfect deal, you fix it all up, it looks great, and you're gonna put a tenant in there for the next 5 years until you're ready to move into it. But you chose the wrong tenant. They stopped paying you 3 months in, so now you're not getting any rent and you're paying the mortgage. You tried to evict them, but according to the landlord-tenant laws, you can't do it quickly, and these guys are professional renters and they know the laws, and they can actually dramatically increase the amount of time it takes to get them kicked out. And there are times where it has taken people years and years to do so. If that were to happen to you with this property, it could take it from a good deal to a bad deal almost no matter what price you bought it for. And then you won't be able to retire when you want to. To avoid things like this, we look for states that are very pro landlord versus tenant. So be aware of this. Make sure you at least know what you're getting into when you buy in these other type of states. I promise you, if you pay attention and look at all 3 of these areas first before picking a location, your chances of success are extremely high. You will be buying a property in a great area that is going to give you more of a return than you even plan on. Now we got part of this funnel built for you, and your job is to finish it up. So the exact location that you want based on the direction you want to go is clear. Because from this point on, it can go in 100 different directions. Are you gonna do a long-term rental, short-term rental, Section 8 housing, construction? So many different things that you could do, and your criteria for your funnels are gonna change a little bit. It depends what you wanna buy and depends on where you need to go to do that. But you need to know the key is for you to figure out, once you know the direction you're going, learn as much as you can so you can be the expert of that in your area. Now, as I promised, I will share some of our demographic criteria that we use to help us decide where we want to go. And some have even changed with the shift of the market. One, we're buying in big cities because as you go more into the fringe, house values and rental rates fluctuate a lot more dramatically. Those prices have dropped. A lot of the people that needed to sell can't, and instead of losing money have put their houses on the market for rent. Well, now there's a lot more competition in the rental market space and your rental rates will drop. Or they have to sell the house at a loss. We try to stay in the big city as the demand will typically always stay high. Another criteria that we have specified for our business is that we want to buy properties that are 3-bedroom, 2-bath up to 4-bedroom, 3-bath. We don't want a 2-bedroom, 1-bath home unless we can convert it to a 3-2. And we don't want a 5-bedroom, 4-bath home. There's just not enough people that want those. People are a little bit more picky nowadays. Other criteria that we have are the type of home. We buy single families, we buy condos and townhouses, we buy small multifamily. We also buy manufactured housing as long as the land comes with it and it's affixed to the ground or tied down, because that is what makes it actually real estate and not private property like a car. So those are the types of properties we would buy. And lastly is the price range that we are buying. This has shifted with the market. We will buy up to the median house value in the area or less. And why is that? That is because what can the greater population afford? If you can afford the median home price, then you can afford less. You can't necessarily go the other way. Feel free to use any of our criteria as you create your own demographic funnel, and hopefully this information helps you either start or continue on in your investing career. If you like these type of videos, like and subscribe, or just click the next video and I'll meet you there.